Don't make my mistake. I messed up my first year of PhD, and I won't tell you how painful the remaining years were. So don't start your PhD without doing these 5 things. And the last one is surprisingly underrated. Number 1, get organized. Your future self will thank you for it. I initially thought it was a waste of time because I wanted to dig into my research right away and read books, papers, and all of that, but I wasn't too keen on building a structure. The problem is that I had no idea how many papers and books I would read over my PhD. And despite knowing how messy my folders and files are on my laptop, I didn't really want to think about it right away, and that was a huge mistake. So, my recommendation is to set up a Notion as soon as possible. And if you don't know what Notion is, I've been talking about it for a while actually. I wish they would sponsor me at some point. But Notion will help you get your entire life organized if you want to. But it's especially good for students and researchers. If you don't know where to start or how to get into Notion, and it gets a bit scary at first, you can just start with some templates. There are plenty of free templates for Notion. Even PhD themed Notion templates. So you could start with that. Then there are also templates you can pay for, but I managed to do everything for free on Notion so far, and it's been wonderful. If you don't want to use Notion, you can use other digital planners, any other software that you feel comfortable with, or physical planners. I had both Notion and physical planners. No matter how you do it, it's important that you find your own way to be organized and stay organized throughout the entire PhD. Number 2, learn that programming language that will make your life easier in the long run. This doesn't only apply to programming languages, though. You should also learn about a reference management software such as Zotero. That's the one that I use. There are many more out there, and it may take some time to learn how it works. So just go ahead and watch tutorials, because it is an investment for your future and it will be worth it, believe me. Or learn that programming language such as, Python, R, MATLAB. Or if you're a linguist, learn how to use a linguistic annotator such as Elan and Flex. Depending on your field, you may want to learn different systems and programs. But you want to invest in learning any of these, depending on your needs, in your very first year of PhD. Again, watch tutorials, but also attend courses if they are offered in your institution. And if you can even get credits for that time spent in that way, maybe it will help you with your motivation to do it. And keep in mind that learning any of these may come in handy in the future, because these can be used in other fields, not only in academia, but also in the industry. So regardless of your ultimate choice after doing the PhD, these are tools and this is the knowledge that you want to have. Number 3, your research is yours and yours only. Your system and literature review can and should be personalized. Yes, feel free to listen to other people in your field, in your department, in your uni. Observe how others do their job, learn from others, of course, but people have different backgrounds and experiences and needs in their research. So they might give you advice that doesn't really fit your situation, and it just may turn into a waste of time. So if they prefer a certain software over the one that you like, or you're used to, or you just spent some time learning, maybe don't feel compelled to switch just because they said so. Maybe switch to a different system only when you really need to, the current system is no longer working for you, or there are some reasons for it, and it's an improvement. It's not just a waste of time and energy. But find the most reliable and the most suitable for your specific needs. And stick to that, because it will be part of your routine. And during the PhD, you will need that type of certainty, something you can rely on over the PhD. Basically, don't let people's preferences influence you. And for instance, if you are neurodivergent, you might have different needs, and your system may sound absurd to others. It may look odd and not functional, perhaps. But if it works for you, stick to that. And if you get advice from people who are not neurodivergent and perhaps don't understand what you're seeking, maybe just find other neurodivergent people to listen to. Number 4, get a clear idea of the academic year. The main events, your deadlines, your supervisor's deadlines, the department's deadlines, and prioritize your research over anything else. Socializing can be limited. You don't have to spend days, hours, all your meals socializing. You don't have to. If you don't want to, and if it feels like you are forced to because of networking or something. If it hurts your routine and your own research, maybe limit that. Some meetings are not needed and they are not necessary for your research and for your path. Unless these are beneficial or mandatory, maybe consider skipping some of them, especially when they are hurting your research, your project. Not all seminars might be for you, or you may not be interested in all topics, so feel free to adapt and arrange your schedule based on your needs. You have to use your time wisely. And so you shouldn't get into the habit of working long hours during the weekend or when it's not needed. Or rather, if you prefer to work on the weekends and have some more freedom during the week, I don't know, to go to a bank or run some errands or whatever, you have that kind of freedom in your PhD. So unless you have a class or something that you have to stick to, just reserve that time slot for classes or whatever it is during the day and organize the rest of your time as you please. But don't feel forced to work overtime. Work when it's your productive time, for instance. When is your productive window? Do you know when you're more productive during the day or during the week? This may not coincide with your colleagues, and that's fine, that's totally fine. Do you know what's the most common thing I heard in academia at the beginning of every single summer? Now I can finally work on my research. Because that's the time period that, in the end, researchers can afford to spend on their research, because the rest of the year is busy with meetings, often useless meetings, classes, prepping for classes, grading, attending seminars, going to conferences, and doing all kinds of things that are not research. And that's what I hear, especially from professors or people who have a more permanent position than a PhD student or candidate. But still, that is what happens when you don't prioritize your research. So don't let suffocating paperwork and pointless meetings take away the time and energy that you should be spending on your research. These will suck the life out of you if you allow it. And you will no longer have passion or not enough passion to keep working on your research. And number 5, keep track of every single step. This may sound boring or obvious, and you would be surprised by how many people don't keep track of their steps. That over the months and years of your PhD, you will forget things. You will have that random thought under the shower, or listening to a conference, or going to a class that may be useful for your research, and maybe you got an idea that might change the structure of your research. Take note of everything. But how? Well, think about point 1 again. You should have already at this point a note-taking app or a digital planner or some way to take track of things. And one idea is to always have Notion. For instance, you can download the app on several devices, and that's what I did. I just take note in my phone, and whenever I'm back working on my laptop, I already have it there. And perhaps you can, have a folder or a page on Notion where you just dump all of these random thoughts and ideas, and maybe at some point you will organize them based on the most common themes or whatever you are looking for in that specific moment. And again, your future self will thank you, because there will be times in which you don't have any inspiration, you are lost, you got to a point in which you don't really know how you should proceed, and those random thoughts may be the key to keep going and change path and do whatever you need. But also, keeping track of every single stupid little thing will help you getting rewards. It will be rewarding, because doing such a massive work as a PhD project, first it takes so long that, of course, you forget about what you did and what you've been doing. A month goes by and you think, oh, I haven't achieved anything, I haven't done anything, because perhaps you haven't written that paper or you haven't prepared that presentation, that talk. But then, if you kept track of these steps, and every single day, maybe at the end of the day, you saved 3 minutes to write down, oh, I did this, this and that today. Maybe it was just one task for the day, but you wrote it down, then you look back. That's truly rewarding, because you realize, oh, but I've been doing this, this and that. I did add that brick to my structure. And this project is made of countless bricks. And you lose track of them, because you don't realize that some are so big that it will be overwhelming. And so seeing all of these little steps and little bricks that you added to your project will truly help. You may be, at the end of the day, you might write, I did some literature review. I added one paper to my literature review. I attended that meeting. I presented that thing. I just read 2 more papers. I gave or attended a lecture. And that's one step closer to the end goal. So every now and then, look back at your tracker or your planner or your Notion, and you will realize that you did a lot. You did that, you managed, you accomplished something, even though there's nobody there on a daily basis telling you, oh, you've done a great job. Most PhD students or candidates struggle with motivation at some point in their projects. And this will be the one habit that will help you keep going and give you that motivation back, because your past self perhaps was more motivated, especially at the beginning. You have more motivation and you tend to lose it a little bit after a year or two, depending on who you are. But this may be a game changer. Such a simple thing, yes, but a game changer. And there you have the 5 things that you should do at the very beginning of your PhD. Let me know if you already do any of these. How are these helping you? And if you are about to begin your PhD journey, good luck. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.